Okay, so let me know if you want another problem like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and find the two x-intercepts.
Yeah. Yeah. I got x equals 5/3 and x equals -7/3.
Okay, that works. So you're going to add them up and divide by 2.
I got -2/3 divided by 2.
Okay, so to divide by 2 here, you can multiply by the reciprocal, multiply the top and bottom by the reciprocal, whatever you want to do here, but you're almost there.
All right.
What'd you come up with here?
I got yeah, -2/6, which can simplify to 5/2, 5/2, so 1/-3, so or -1/3.
Questions on that?
No.
All right. What else would you like us to look at?
Um, look at this. All right, let's go over number 27.
All right, there it is. Do you think it'll be multiple choice like this?
Yeah, because the second part of this is multiple choice. This is the district one, so it's multiple choice. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. Should be a little easier then. Um, I would encourage you to couple ways to proceed here. I don't know that there's actually a best path here. I would either eliminate y by multiplying the first equation by 2. That's one thing I see. It may not be obvious, but if you do, you get, 1y minus the y. But I'm sorry. Yeah, I would do that. Or I would just solve the second equation for y and use substitution. It's option number 2. Or I would clear the fraction of both equations and then kind of reset and figure out what I wanted. Um, one of the things that's probably a little bit unclear here is that you are like you're just looking at these like that it's the sum of the solution set. I don't know why that you couldn't replicate this in the answer space, but they do. So do you kind of how do you see proceeding from here? What makes the most sense to you?
Maybe solving the second equation for y.
All right, so y equals 1/2 x in the second equation, and then that goes back into the first one. Now, if you wonder how I solved that so quickly, I just moved y to the other side of the equation. You just
Yeah,
add
because in this
y.
case, it's just 0 on the other side.
So you have 1/4 x is the first equation plus 1/2 times 1/2 x equals -2. 1/4 x plus 1/4 x equals -2. That's 1/2 x. It's 2/4 equals -2. Multiply both sides by 2, and you get x equals -4.
Got it.
Now, that's only part of it. We got to get y, but y is 1/2 x. So I want you to solve for the value of y, add the two solutions together, and figure out which is the correct one up here.
So C.
Uh, well, no. You got to find y. What is y?
Oh, y would be -2.
Right, and then you got to add the solutions together.
Oh, yeah, because of the sum. So it'd be -6. So A, yeah. Got it. So they kind of have like B and C to kind of trick you like to see if you're gonna put like the X, just X or just Y. Got it. So then you have to add them together to get okay. The next one. This is the next one.
Got it? Which of the following represents the absolute value function 2, absolute value f equals 5 minus 7. Okay. Sometimes you just got to scan the answers. You can eliminate two of them with the domain. You remember how the domain is broken apart with the absolute value?
Yeah,
So if you do, which two answers can you remove or which two should you keep?
X. You should remove C and D and keep A and B.
Agreed. Now there's actually some key differences here between A and B. They actually have the same equations, which is weird. I wouldn't have done that, but that's what they chose to do. Um, they're saying, this one's good greater than -5. This one's good less than -5. Does this open up or down?
That opens up, but there's no negative, no
So if,
negative
if
two.
the breakpoint is -5, the one that's greater than or is going to be the positive slope, and the one that's to the left is going to have the negative slope.
So that means that it's A, because A is
Yep,
less than, yeah, X is less
right,
than, it's
right.
negative, so got it. And if it opened down, it'd be the opposite.
Yes.
So if it was like f of x equals -2 x plus 5 minus 7, got it. If the equations were not the same, then you would then what you do if it's not the same?
You'd have to figure out which one is like I would have flipped them maybe. That's another variation on this. Like put the wrong one in the wrong place.
Got it. Just pay attention to like which equations were, then like
Yeah,
the signs.
yeah.
Got it.
This is the district final, so you don't have to worry about kind of weird stuff your teacher does.
Yeah, I think this one's the online one where, yeah, we're just entering like the letter, whatever. 13th, I think it is. So let's see what the next one would be. Oh, there's this one. Yeah, so on the corner where it says like NC and C, that just means no calculator and calculator. Because on
Okay.
the district final, on certain questions, you'll have a calculator that pops up on certain ones you won't. So that's
All
what
right. So
that
this
means.
this problem is this problem is kind of like the one we just did. They're kind of telling you that you have to find the solutions to this system. You have to find x equals and y equals. Um,
And then plug in
so
X and Y into the equation that they give.
yeah, now I'm just looking at this, like you could solve this one for y. Doesn't really come out clean, so I might not do that. Um, if you put it in standard form, like if you clear the fraction and move the x term left, like if you multiply everything by 5, you get 40y equals 2x minus 70. Um, and then if you divide everything by 2, which you might not know to do, but you do kind of want to reduce, it becomes 20y equals x minus 35. You might switch your mind and say, let me solve that for x, and then put that in the other equation. I'm not, there's a lot of ways to go here. Or you could move this to the other side and use elimination. What do you see?
Uh, we could multiply it by and solve for Y, right?
Well, however you want to do it, I'd like you to try to solve this from here. I would probably just tell you to solve this for x and then substitute in the first equation. But that's up to you. I mean, you know enough to be able to solve it. So I'm gonna I'm gonna also solve it in some software that I use, and we'll compare answers here in a moment. It does work out nicely, if that was a concern.
I got 248 over 151 for y.
Ooh, okay. It does work out nicely. Did you solve this for x?
Yeah,
Okay, so x is 20y plus 35.
yeah.
Okay, so this becomes 7 times 20y plus 35 minus 11y equals negative 13. Is that what you
Oh,
have so far?
uh,
7, yeah, just making sure
four.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Okay, so we got 140y And then this is 245
Oh,
minus
yeah, I think that's
11y.
where I got
Okay.
mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 235.
All right. So y ends up equaling 2.
And
And
then you plug
then
it
when you
back in,
put,
and then you get 40 plus 35 equal to x. Uh, that would
yeah,
be
except I must have made a mistake here.
120.
I thought it was -2. 7, -11, -13, 8, -2/5. Um, uh, oh, sorry, it's negative. Sorry, this is -258. Sorry, it's -2. Um, that's more consistent. And then x is 20y plus 35. 20 times -2 plus
So
35.
negative 40 plus 35.
Yeah, -5.
Yeah,
And then you can go back to 3 times x, 3 times -5
which is
plus
negative
or
13
minus
minus,
minus 2 times -2.
which is minus negative 4, which becomes plus 4. So negative 13 plus 4.
Right. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
All right. Um, I did want to ask a question. I don't have the exact question because this is a question on the test that we had today.
Mhm.
Um, I think it was one of the fencing questions. It was like this guy had a barn and it was like along with the river or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the sub questions underneath it was like, in the word problem was, should the side length be like perpendicular to the river or something like that? It was like yeah, something like that. It's like a barn that needed a fence around it, and I think it was
Okay.
like 1,000 feet of fence. But like, how do you do that type of problem? Like
Like this.
asking if it should be perpendicular to something else, like if there's a river right next to it and there's no fencing on the side that has the river.
Oh, I
Uh,
see. Yeah, so you're talking about a problem where you're basically asking like, well, should it go straight out like this? Or, should it go at an angle?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right. Um,
Yeah, it was
uh,
basically like, should it be perpendicular to the river or something like that was one of the questions. The other one was like, of course, the maximum area and stuff like that. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to that question. But yeah,
right. So in reality, like it wouldn't look like this. It would yeah, if you're constrained to the same amount of fencing, you would come out, but you couldn't go as far. And so the question is this basically is the triangle, is this how does these two areas compared to the blue areas? I have never thought to I mean this problem isn't standard, so I've never thought to try it. Uh, but that would be the idea behind it. So the thing that I keep going back to is that in most of these problems, the square maximizes the area. So, I mean, if you're looking for like what should you have put, it would be that, yeah, they should be 90 degrees. But the way to do it would be to build a problem where this angle was changing and to calculate the area based on that angle, which we could do, but I would caution you that seems like a really out of scope question for this class.
Yeah.
It would be like something fun to work on, like off to the side, as like a project or an in-class thing.
Yeah, that's why I was a little confused when I came to that question because
So, do you
yeah,
want
I
us to
didn't,
do a little bit more of a dive into this? We can write some equations here.
yeah, sure. 'Cause I was just curious like how you would solve that because it was on the
Sure. Yeah. So so again, let's say that, and we just to make it easy on us, let's say that the angle was the same in both cases on both sides.
all right.
Um, so well, that's one way to. So the other way here is so this is x and this is y, and if this is y, then this right here, this length, you could get by using the tangent. So for the moment, I'm going to call it a w. That the tangent of theta is w over y. So or sorry, w would equal y tangent theta. Okay, so we could call this y tangent theta, but the area total is x. The area total is x times y plus the triangles. Now, it's really a square, so it's really y times y tangent theta, or a rectangle, or yeah, because you can kind of overlap this one on the right here. Is that okay or not? Like imagine, yeah, this triangle was inverted and put over here. It's now a rectangle. Yes, no, maybe.
Um,
Base times height.
yeah, got it.
Okay. But somewhere we're told like how much fencing that you have.
Yeah, I think it did tell me how much
It would
fencing
say
is.
that our fencing, which is we've now got to find. Um, I'll call this C. We got to find C. So C is so if we do the cosine theta, it's y over C. So C equals y over cosine of theta. So the amount of fencing that we need is y over cosine of theta, but you need two of them because you need each of these kind of outer edges. And then you need two y tangent thetas plus x.
Uh,
And so you could problem here is you got two variables, right? Um,
mm,
three variables actually, because you don't know this angle. So we need to know something else. Otherwise, you just sort of solve it and you get like a general like idea of the solution. So and this would be something you would solve in like calculus 3. But the reason I think the angle is 0 in these problems is because the tangent of 0 is 0, so this whole term drops out. Same with this one. This simplifies to 2y plus x, which is kind of what you're used to.
Got it.
But there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I will be curious whenever she sh does show us like how, because after the test she gives it back. Um, she will go over it, but that was usually for unit tests. I'm not sure about this one, but just go over it. I'll try to ask her about that one question. Yeah.
But just without knowing more math, you could make a little Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheet or something where you specify the angle, like you let the data go from say like 1 to 90 degrees increments of 1, and then you solve the rest of it based on that. And you might find that there's an optimal solution.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a bit more involved than that because you got to solve the second equation for y and plug it in and find the vertex in terms of these other variables, but it is potentially doable. Anyway, uh, what would you like to work on here for the rest of our time today?
All right. All right. I'd like to go over this question.
All right, there it is. Right, the sum of three numbers is 39. The third number is 9 less than the second number. Sum of the first and the second number is 19. What is the largest number? Okay. Um, okay. So three numbers, you can write some equations here like x plus y plus z is 39. The third number, which we'll call z equals 9 less than the second number. So
So y
y
minus
minus,
9, 9 minus, yeah.
yeah, well, y minus 9, yeah, it's 9 less. Sum of the first and the second number is 19, so x plus
So x
y.
plus y equals 19.
There you go. Now, sometimes we overcomplicate this. And I mean, I don't know how to, I mean, until you've been doing this, forever. But like x plus y is right here. You can put 19 in for that. So it becomes 19 plus z equals 39. Z equals 20. Now, maybe they all have a shortcut like this, a trick, if you will, but alternatively, you would have to solve like a system of equations to do
Got
that.
it.
And if you didn't notice that, you might take y minus 9 and put it in for z.
Um, let me, here, let me paste this into the chat. So this is a screenshot from her answer key for it. And it says the answer is A. Oh, interesting.
Take a look here.
I like the map on the side, but
So, okay, so I made a mistake in assuming that the third number is the largest, which I guess we haven't proved. So yeah, I guess we do need to find the others.
oh,
Um,
she kind of wants you to find all
yeah,
day, then like find out
I
which one
guess
of those is the
yeah.
largest.
So I made a classic mistake here. So y is z plus 9, which ends up being 29. That's looking pretty solid.
Got it. So you kind of have to like try it until you get like the
Yeah, it
highest.
looks like you should find the numbers, not try to shortcut it like I did.
Got it. Yeah, because that's one question that I was kind of confused. Like I did try it and I think I get it wrong, so I was kind of wondering like why. So now I kind of get it. Um, so now um let's go over these two to finish off. Let's see if I can finish up. But yeah. Um because these more or less kind of seem like what we were doing in geometry almost. Because
Okay.
we talk about like the volume of a rectangular pyramid is 200 cubic meters and the height is twice the length. It kind of seems like what we used to do in geometry, but it's in the review for the final, so it would be in this. So yeah, let's go over that.
All right. Oh, okay. Volume of a rectangular pyramid is 200 cubic centimeters. The height is twice the length, and the width is 2 centimeters more than the height. Was the height of the rectangular pyramid? So you need the volume formula. Volume formula is 1/3 area of the base times the height. They're giving you the volume, and cool. They're just giving you everything in terms of everything else. So maybe a picture here. So the height is twice the length. The length and the width are 2 centimeters more than the height. So this is the height plus 2 and the height plus 2. What is the height of the pyramid? Okay, so I might be inclined to throw some numbers in, like 200 equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. So if you multiply by 3, you get 600 equals the area of the base times the height. So I might just try the numbers from here. Like if the height is 2, which I don't think is right, but let's just say the height is 2. That means that these are the height is twice the length. I'm sorry, this is the length, and the width is 2 more than the height. So if the height is 2, that means that the length is 1, and then the other dimension is 3, and that does not appear to work. Like it's way too small. So we know like that one's out. Let's go to the other. It's like let's say the height is 12. We know that the length is 6 and that the other dimension is 14. So it's 12 times 14 times 6, 600. Doesn't look like it, so that's probably out. And so what if the height is 10? Well, the length is 5. And then the height is 12. That one looks a lot better.
Got it.
I'm more inclined on these district ones to kind of use the solutions to help. All right, so let's take a look at this last one really quickly here before we run out of time. Volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. Height is 5 more than the radius. Height equals the radius plus 5. All right, so we know that the volume is 48 pi, 1/3 pi r squared h. Pi's cancel. When you multiply by 3, you get 144 r squared h. So if the height is 4, let's just, height is 4. The radius is -1. That's impossible. The height is 9. The radius is 4. And so it's 4 squared times 9, 144. It is. I would use more of that guess and check approach on these. Okay, we do have to stop there for today.